Hello dear student, this is me Mr. Shangar again, your grammar friends teacher. I hope you and your families are all okay. As you know, because of the extended lockdown in our city that led to school closures temporarily due to the coronavirus, as you know, that has gripped the world since January, we have to send the lessons online to you. What I want from you is that we don't want you to miss any lessons on important subject, and we want from you to listen to us closely, to catch up, to watch all the lessons and to do all the homework, so that you will be on the right track and you will not miss any important information because they are all important. And when schools are open again, we will just have a quick revision about all these lessons so that we will not be obliged to explain the lessons again. So please try to help yourself in this way. You will help us as well. So let's start today's lesson. Today's lesson, as you can see here, is about indefinite pronouns. As I said, today's subject is indefinite pronoun. If we have a close look at the word indefinite pronouns, actually, the word is suggestive of the meaning. How? We are talking about pronouns. Okay, what are pronouns? As you are familiar, pronouns are words that take the place of nouns. Okay, these pronouns are indefinite. It means what? It means they are not definite. They refer to something or a place or a person without being specific. Okay, indefinite means they are not definite. It means there is some kind of vagueness. We don't know about the people, the things, and the places that these pronouns refer to. Okay, why do we use these pronouns? We use indefinite pronouns to talk about people, things, and places that we don't name. As I said, it's not definite. We don't mention the places or things or people. We are not being specific here. We use indefinite pronoun with some, every, and no in affirmative sentences. In other words, affirmative sentence is a sentence that the verb is positive, which means the verb is not negative. The verb is not followed by not. Let's have a look at this example so that you will understand better. Everyone is here. The sentence is affirmative. Why? Because we have is. We don't have not in the sentence. If we have not, then the sentence will not be affirmative. It will be negative. Everyone is here. So we don't know the people. That's why we say the pronouns are indefinite. We say everyone. So all the people, we don't know them. But we use everyone in the place of nouns. There is something wrong with the computer. Okay, there is something wrong, but you don't know what that thing is. We are not being specific. It's just something. So, there's some kind of vagueness. There's nothing definite here. The third example, no one is missing. Again, here actually, no one is missing. Again, we are not being specific. No one is missing. That's it. As you can see here, we use is with all the indefinite pronoun. In other words, with indefinite pronouns, we use singular verbs. We never use plural verbs. We always use singular verbs. And in the sentence, when we say no one is missing, I know the meaning of the sentence is negative. The meaning of the sentence is negative because we use no one is missing. But the sentence itself is affirmative. Why? Because we have is. It's not isn't. We don't have not. So because we have is, and here actually is indicates the form of the sentence. So the form is affirmative, but the meaning is negative. Here we are talking about the form. When we said above that we use some, every, and no in affirmative sentences, here we mean form, not the meaning. So the first thing you have to know about indefinite pronouns is that they refer to people, things, and places without being specific. Second one, we use singular verbs with indefinite pronouns. Okay, for each group actually we have different pronouns. First one, for places. In affirmative sentences, we said when the verb is not followed by not. Okay, when the form is affirmative, is not negative. For places, we use three words, three pronouns. Somewhere, we don't know the place. Everywhere, again, all the places, still we don't know. And nowhere, still we don't know anything about the place. For things, something, everything, all the things, and nothing. And for people, someone, it could be anyone, everyone, again, could be anyone. And look at this one, no one. You see, in all other indefinite pronouns, we don't have any space between some, every, and no, except this one. There must be a space when we say no one. There must be a space between no and one. So we use these 9 indefinite pronouns, that 3 of them belong to a group of one of these things, places, things, or people. We use them in affirmative sentences. Again, we use them in those sentences that the form is not negative. That means we don't have not in these sentences. We don't have the word not in these sentences. Why? Because the meaning itself actually indicates positiveness, or these pronouns, when we say nowhere, nothing, and no one, they indicate actually negation themselves. So we don't need actually two negation in one sentence. Later, we will be talking about in negative sentence and question, we use anywhere, anything, and anyone. But leave that for now. Let's talk about the other 9 indefinite pronouns in detail in affirmative sentences. Now we are talking about using some of the indefinite pronouns in affirmative sentences. In other words, when we make positive statements, when we don't have not in the sentence, how do we use the pronouns? As we said before, we use certain pronouns with each one of places, things, and people. Okay, when it comes to places, we use 3 indefinite pronouns, which are what? Which are somewhere, as you can see, that means a place, but we don't actually mention anything else. We are not being specific. Everywhere, all the places, and nowhere, no place. So let's have a look at these words in sentences so you will understand it better. She lives somewhere in the city. As you can see, we refer to a place, but we are not being specific. We don't know the place. We don't name it, or we don't mention it. We just refer to a place without being specific. Second one, everywhere looks beautiful in the spring. Again, all the places look beautiful, but we don't mention any one of them. We don't mention any place at all. We just refer to all the places. Again, we are not being specific. And as you can see here again, we used a singular verb. Everywhere looks beautiful. Why? Because we said with all the indefinite pronouns, we use singular verbs. I know now some of you might come up with a question. You might, if we were in class actually, you'd have asked me. The meaning of the sentence is actually plural. We say all the places. Why do we use a singular verb? I know the meaning is say everywhere, all the places, is plural, but again, we are talking about the form. Here we have to use a singular verb with all the indefinite pronouns. And the last example for places, there's nowhere to sit. As you can see, again, we used a singular verb and there's nowhere to sit. So we cannot sit in any places. Okay, now let's move to things. Likewise, we use three indefinite pronouns when we refer to things without being specific. Something, of course, we don't know. Everything and nothing. Okay, let's have a look in these in sentences at these words in sentences. I bought you something. So you don't know it. We refer to a thing, but we are not being specific. It's just something that we don't know. We don't name it. We don't mention what that thing is. Everything is fine. So I might ask you, how's everything? And you will answer, everything is fine. But you don't mention anything about it. It's just everything. All the things are okay. There is nothing on my desk. Again, as you can see, we use singular verb. Nothing on my desk. So you are not being specific, but there's nothing on my desk. That's it. And for people, we also use three indefinite pronouns in affirmative sentences. It means in those sentences that we don't have not when we make positive statements. Someone, everyone, and no one. Again, as you can see here, we need a space. Only with this indefinite pronoun between the no and one we need a space. So please pay attention to that. Someone knocked at the door. So someone, we don't know. We are not being specific. We are referring to a person without being specific. Everyone is unhappy these days. Yeah, because of this coronavirus, we are all actually at home. So, and because what's happening in the world, everyone is unhappy. As you can see, again, we use is, which is singular, actually verb, and everyone. We are not being specific. We are talking about the world in general, actually, and all the people. And here there is no one else here. Maybe we are in a room and you say there is no one else here. Again, we are not being specific. We use indefinite pronouns when we refer to places, things, and people without being specific. So what we have covered is that in affirmative sentences we use these indefinite pronouns. With each group we use certain pronouns and we use singular verbs with them. Now, when it comes to negative sentences and questions, we use some other indefinite pronouns that they are totally different from the other pronouns that we have used in affirmative sentences. Okay, first one, when we refer to places without being specific in negative sentences and interrogative ones, that means questions, we have to use anywhere. We have to use the indefinite pronoun anywhere in negative sentences or questions. Let's have a look at these two examples. We won't go anywhere near the volcano. So as you can see here, we say we won't go. So the form of the sentence is negative. How do we know? Because we have not. We have won't, that's the contracted form of will not. So when the sentence is negative, then you know you cannot use other indefinite pronouns when you refer to places like somewhere, everywhere, or nowhere. Why? Because the rule is we have to use anywhere in negative sentences, not other indefinite pronouns. Look at the second one. Is there anywhere to eat? Again, as you can see here, the question mark and this question is the sentence starts with is, that indicates interrogativeness. Here the sentence is interrogative. It means it's a question. That's why we have to use anywhere when we refer to a place without being specific. So we are referring to a place and the sentence is a question. So we have to use anywhere. You cannot say, is there elsewhere to eat? Is there, everywhere to eat? Or is there somewhere to eat? It's totally incorrect and it will be ill-formed sentence because the sentence is question, so we have to use anywhere. When we talk about things or when we refer to things in negative sentences or questions, again we have to use a different indefinite pronoun that is anything. That is anything. Look, he doesn't do anything at home. So here the sentence is negative. Why? Because we have not, we have doesn't. That we know it's a negative sentence because of the not. Do anything. Again, you cannot say he doesn't do something. We have to use anything because the sentence is negative and we refer to something. Is there anything wrong? Is there anything wrong with you? So here the sentence again is what? The sentence is interrogative. It's a question. That's why we used anything, not something or everything. Okay, when we refer to people, we use again a different pronoun that is anyone. We use anyone first when we refer to people, and in negative sentences and questions. Okay, has anyone been to Italy recently? I hope no. I hope not, because you know what's happening in Italy, unfortunately. So, has anyone been to Italy recently? Recently? Here, the sentence starts with has, that we know. It's an interrogative sentence, and we have a question mark here. So we use anyone here because the sentence is a question, is interrogative, and we refer to people. The second one, I haven't found anyone to help me, unfortunately. As you can see, I haven't. So this indicates that the sentence is negative. And when the sentence is negative and you refer to people, so here we use anyone. You cannot say I haven't found someone to help me. It's totally wrong. It's incorrect. You have to use anyone. Why? Because first we refer to people, and second one, the sentence is negative. So you see, in negative sentences and questions, we use some other indefinite pronouns that are totally different from the ones that we use in affirmative sentences. Fortunately, guys, that was all for this lesson. But remember, you've got some homework to do. These pages from page 74 to 75, so page 74, 75, 76, and 77 will be homework for you. Try to do them all. The exercises are easy, I'm sure. Just try to understand what the exercise requires from you and try to watch the video more than once. Maybe that will help you to understand better. And if you have any questions, if you find anything confusing and if something was not like understandable to you, you can telegram me. You can text me on Telegram if you have any questions. And again, please try to stay indoors. Try to spend your times by doing something useful and fruitful. Try to be away from any crowded places. This is temporary, and I'm sure we will be together soon. I miss you all. I am looking forward to seeing you as soon as possible. I love you all. Have a great time. Bye bye.